In the frozen forests of Belgium, hope was fading. December 1944. American soldiers were cold, cut off, and surrounded. The skies were gray, the roads were soaked, and the enemy was closing in. But one general believed in something more powerful than tanks or planes. He believed in prayer. The Battle of the Bulge was Hitler's final gamble, a surprise offensive through the Ardennes forest. The goal: split the Allied forces, seize the port of Antwerp, and turn the tide of the war. Caught off guard, thousands of American troops fought desperately to hold the line. Blizzards, freezing rain, and thick fog made it nearly impossible to move supplies or call in air support. For days, Allied planes were grounded, and the skies belonged to the enemy. General George S. Patton watched the storm grow, and he knew something had to change. On December 8, 1944, General Patton summoned his chief chaplain, Monsignor James Hugh O'Neill. He didn't ask for a strategy, he asked for a prayer. "Chaplain," he said, "I want you to write a prayer for good weather, and I want it now." Chaplain O'Neill got to work, penning a simple but heartfelt plea to God. This is what he wrote: "Almighty and most merciful Father, we humbly beseech thee to restrain these immoderate rains with which we have had to contend. Grant us fair weather for battle. Graciously hearken to us as soldiers who call upon thee, that armed with thy power we may advance from victory to victory and establish thy justice among men and nations." Patton ordered 250,000 copies of the prayer, along with a Christmas greeting, to be printed and given to every soldier in the Third Army. And then, something extraordinary happened. By December 23rd, after days of freezing fog and unrelenting storms, the skies suddenly cleared. Sunlight broke through the clouds. The fog lifted. Allied aircraft took to the skies. Bombers and fighters rained down support on the German forces. Supplies were dropped. Reinforcements arrived. The tide of battle shifted. The German offensive began to crumble, and the Allies pushed forward. To many it was just a break in the weather, but to those who had prayed, it was nothing less than a miracle. The weather miracle became one of the most talked about events of the war. General Patton, though never shy to act, never failed to give credit where it was due. Chaplain O'Neill was awarded the Bronze Star. And the prayer, it lived on, a powerful reminder that in moments of deepest desperation, hope still shines through. In war as in life, storms come. Sometimes the clouds don't break, but even in those moments, we are not without power. General Patton once told his men, "Pray when driving, pray when fighting, pray alone, pray with others, pray by night and pray by day." Because faith is not weakness, it is our greatest strength. If God could answer the prayers of weary soldiers in the middle of a world war, He can still hear your prayer today. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs hope. Like this video, leave us a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Inspiration Pilgrims, where history, faith, and courage come together. Because even in the darkest battles, miracles still happen.
In the cold December silence, where the fire met the snow, soldiers stood in frozen shadows, nowhere left for them to go. The heavens hid behind the storm, the skies were locked in gray. But one man turned to heaven's throne and dared to kneel and pray. When the skies broke open and the sun poured through the fight, hope came down like morning shining in the soldier's night. Faith was the weapon that never left their hands. When the skies broke open, God was in command. They printed out a prayer for battle, 250,000 strong, with weary hands and quiet quiet hearts, the soldiers carried on. A chaplain's words, a general's faith, echoed through the ranks, and angels marched beside them through the snow and frozen banks. When the skies broke open and the fog began to fade, wings of mercy thundered through the path that prayer had made. Heaven heard the whisper of a million silent cries. When the skies broke open, God was on their side. So when your road is covered in shadows, storms, and fear, lift your voice like they did, 'cause heaven's always near. The God who moved the weather still hears the soldier's song. Even now, in every trial, His power carries on. When the skies break open and your hope begins to rise, don't forget